What's up, guys? I'm back. It's a new day. I confirmed my suspicions. I'm pretty sure that it is the starter that's broken. I went to go start my car this morning, and the car cranked really hard, really slow. It seemed like it had a lot of issues. So I scrambled and I was able to get a remanufactured starter right here. The next day, actually. So today, great turnaround time. I'm gonna throw the car up on the lift, pop the old starter out, put this one in, and hopefully that's our problem. We'll see if it solves it. Let's go ahead and gotta move the Firebird. Bring the Firebird down, throw the Camaro up there, and pop the old one out. All right, so I haven't had this car on the channel yet at all, but this is my dad's 68 Pro Touring Firebird with it's a Corvette drivetrain, so it's got an LS7 T56 transmission. It's not totally stock. It's got headers and I think a mild cam in it, so it's making over 500 horsepower. The car's pretty quick. It'll actually keep up with the Camaro. But let's go and fire it up and get her outside. All right, now we can go see if the Camaro will actually start. Fingers crossed. Should be cold, so it should start, but we'll go ahead and see. Now that I got the car up on the lift, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pop the trunk. Excuse my messy trunk, but we're gonna disconnect the battery, and then that way I can lift the car up and we'll have access to the starter, and we can do that without, you know, getting zapped. Battery cover. All right, now we should be all set to go ahead, lift the car up, and pull off the starter. Got the car up in the air. There's our culprit. The starter's right up there. And all we have to do to remove it are remove those two bolts holding it in, and then disconnect the wires in the solenoid. So there's this bolt, and it's hard to see this angle, and those two bolts right there. That one and that one. So I'm hoping I don't have to remove the headers to get it out. All right, got our bolts out. Pretty long bolts, and kind of cool actually. They got this knurl at the end to bite into something. They're actually still pretty hot, and the car's cold. I mean, the headers are cold too, so hopefully it's, you know, not too much hotter up there. But this is out. It's I can't get a hand up there right now, but it's loose, so I'm gonna try to go ahead and pull that out. All right, guys, this is being an absolute pain to get off right now. So I went ahead and I pulled off my heat shield. I'm having a lot of trouble accessing the connections on top of the starter. So with that heat shield removed, I'm gonna try to reach up from the top and hopefully, it's really hard to see, hopefully be able to unbolt them and get the starter down. But I don't know if you guys can see this, but the starter can move everywhere right now. It's very free. The only thing binding it up are the connections itself. So I'm gonna see if I can remove those right now. All right, so I took a little camera break. I was working on the car trying to get that starter out, and as you can see, it's already nighttime. This starter is the biggest pain to get out. If you guys didn't know, I do have headers on my car, which might make a difference, but I'm removing the passenger side header, trying to get to the starter, but there's no slack. We're removing the ground cable. There's a little like push pin that's taking up some slack, so we're gonna try to remove that and hopefully get some slack to pull the starter down, but right now there's no room to move around, no room to unbolt the starter, no room to do anything really in there. So hopefully after the starter is removed, we'll be able to have some slack and pull that thing down. All right, so it's really hard to see in here, but let's see if I can show it. That's our cable. And that right there is the push pin I'm trying to remove. So that's what's taking up all the slack, and if I can get that out, then the starter should hopefully be able to drop down and we'll be able to unbolt it. All right, so I got that bolt off. It's really hard to see. There you go, right there. So that's off. I'm gonna go to the bottom side of the car and I'm gonna remove the starter. I'm gonna pull it down and hopefully that thing will just slide off, and then I can undo that last connector and everything should come out, I'm hoping. So fingers crossed, let's go lift up the car. All right, got the car back up in the air. See if we can pull the starter out. There she is. All right, oh, here she comes. I hope. Well, kind of. These steel lines are getting in the way right here. All right, well, here she is. All of her glory. So this is after 48,000 miles. 2 winners. But definitely removing that clip was the right thing to do. I was able to, and loosening the headers. That helped out a ton. I was able to, you know, get enough room to slide this down and remove the bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer everything over to the new starter, and then I'll put the new one back in. So the new alternator is 0.4 ohms. The old alternator is 0.2 ohms. So I probably melted a coil inside. Okay, so this has been way more of a process than I ever would have imagined. I don't know, I'm skipping a few steps to show you guys, but I got the starter back in from the bottom, and now what I'm doing is I'm putting all the grounds back on. All the ground and the other connector, it's difficult to see right there from the top side, and I can fit my hand through the header to tighten that all back down. So now what I'm gonna do is go to the bottom side of the, oh, this is a problem. Well, guys, this is why you take your spark plugs out when you're playing with the headers. You can see I cracked mine, so I need new spark plugs. Great, but we're gonna go to the bottom side and tighten the starter in and try to get that all sorted out, and then I need to get spark plugs because mine are cracked. I just got back from O'Reilly's, 8 new spark plugs. I figure since I cracked 4 of them, I'll replace the other 4 as well, so they're all brand new, but made it there in the nick of time right as they're closing. So at least we can finish it up tonight, hopefully. All right, so I ended up losing some video footage. My phone died and I put the rest of the car back together, but I ended up having to tap a hole in the side of the engine too, and just clean up some threads, so it took a little bit longer than I thought, but the car's back together. We're gonna get the first start. Hopefully it turns over. Everything's been reconnected, but let's jump in and see if she turns over. Yep, here we go. Good morning, neighbors. So there she is, she fired right up. The starter was a success. So if you guys liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.